Hey, everybody. I am Michelle Burney, and I have started up Radiance Within Coaching. I'm a certified health and life coach, and this is one of my January special talks, thinking about the new year and approaching the new year. And this is your year to shine. And really, what I mean by that is I chose the title Radiance Within for my coaching business because my goal is to make people feel lighter, brighter, stronger, to feel that confidence, that strength from within. And your year to shine is your chance, with the new year, it's like a reset, new goals, resolutions, but it's your time to really try to bring back, or if you've never had it, to try to feel that glow, to try to feel lighter, brighter, stronger, more in control of your life instead of letting it just happen to you. Um, I want people to spark their inner fire, to spark their passion, to feel like they're living with purpose and a purpose that they're excited about. Not like I said, that life is just happening to you and all around you, and you're just a participant. You need to be the artist of your life. And so, this session, your year to shine, is to get you to feel, to start working toward, feeling better overall. But like I said, taking more control of your world, taking control of your life, and really starting to shine and feeling good about who you are and where you're heading. As with everything, health is number one, and getting your health in control has to be your number one goal. Everything else can come after getting your health in control. So make your health your top priority. And my first talk on resolutions, really went through these, kind of quickly, as good health related goals, because these involve balancing your blood sugar, um, balancing that roller coaster, your blood sugar levels, the peaks and the valleys, the spikes and the drops, and therefore reducing inflammation, which is a main contributor to so many diseases out there. But any of these are great health priorities, and if you are need some help in making health a priority and changing some of your health habits, maybe the resolutions video is good for you. But any of these are great starting points for becoming healthier. More water, more protein, the right fats, avoiding all the processed foods, avoiding all those things that you can't even pronounce on food labels, eating more whole foods, timing your meals, not eating, right before bed. Speaking of bed, getting enough sleep, such a key for, and we'll talk about energy, exercise, moving your body. All of these things are great health related priorities. And you need to start here, because without your health in line, everything else really comes secondary to your health. And in that video on resolutions, what I talked about with health goals is, in helping you achieve health goals, number one, declutter, getting rid of temptations, clearing your space, clearing your refrigerator, clearing your cupboards, also clearing your calendar, allowing that time for you, writing in exercise into your calendar, getting rid of other, negative energies, negative activities, things that take away time from you focusing on yourself. Preparation, setting yourself up for success, whether that be, food prepping is so important. Um, Planning out your calendar, planning out your week, writing in that time for you. A couple other things that dug a little deeper in related to your health goals. Acceptance, accepting who you are right now without judgment. Forgive yourself for maybe if you let yourself go, um, but to accept where you're at and then be ready to move forward. And then the biggest part here, and I really encourage you if you're interested in this, and we'll tap into this a little bit today also, is that identity. That who you identify with really drives your beliefs and behaviors. So if you identify as, being a busy mom, you may not find that time to devote to you, to devote to meal prepping, to devote for exercise. You have to change how you identify. Identify as a healthy mom, and that's a greater gift you can give your kids. And start identifying, I'm a healthy mom, I take care of myself, and you'll see that your actions start to follow that. Because the big key here is healthy isn't something you do, it becomes who you are. So healthy isn't just a list of what to eat, not eat, work out, not work out, but it comes embedded in who you are so that the decisions you make are all based on being a healthy person. And of course, we're human and we splurge and it's okay. Progress over perfection, definitely. But in our health goals, being healthy is so important, but energy is a big key part of that. And some of these same things, really all these same things, related to inflammation and your blood sugar roller coaster really affect your energy. And to move forward, to be this bright, shining, radiant version of you, you need energy. And so many of us feel so like sluggish and you're just barely getting through your day, and you need energy, to move forward and to make change and to glow and to shine. You need energy. And we have energy, we make better choices. I don't know about you, but when I'm tired is when I want to reach for a sugary snack or a coffee, or not just a coffee but a Starbucks flavored coffee with all the junk in it, or maybe I'd rather nap than go and exercise. And being tired really makes us make poorer choices. When we have more energy, we tend to make better choices. We're feeling good. We're going to go exercise. Ironically, I will tell you, I've learned this. Push yourself. Even when you think you're tired, push yourself to get that exercise in. You always feel better after. Like 100% of the time, you will feel better after you exercise than before it. I've gone with a headache. I've gone to the gym thinking, oh gosh, and I always feel better after. So really push yourself to get exercise, movement into your daily routine, or at least, 4 to 5 days a week. You really will feel better after. That helps to, to make you feel more energized. But think about other activities and things in your world that drain your energy. Because energy, like I said, is so important that if you do want to make any kind of change, if you have any goals for improving any areas of your life, you need the energy to do so. Think about what activities drain your energy. And unfortunately, we can't eliminate these. Is it cleaning? Is it doing laundry? Is it cooking? Is it grocery shopping? What drains your energy? But then maybe think creatively about how you can spread these out throughout your week, how you can delegate, use those kiddos to help you out, assign them an area to clean. Maybe you start ordering your groceries. If grocery shopping drains you, and it's not good for your state, your mind, your energy, you know what? Use Instacart. So try to think creatively about how you can deal with those activities that drain your energy. And some you just have to do. But like I said, if you can spread it out and balance it with activities that do energize you, you need to take more time to do what energizes you. It's not selfish. You need that energy. When you have that energy, you can offer your best version of you to your spouse, to your kids, to your job, your employer. So you need to find what energizes you. Is it reading? Is it going for a walk? Is it going for a drive and playing whatever music you want and singing out loud? Is it doing a silly dance? What energizes you? Is it a massage? And you want to schedule that more regularly. What kind of activities energize you and make you feel good? Because they are worth it. It will pay off for you in your world to spend that little time doing what energizes you. And in terms of energy, awakening your inner fire. This was a book I read about by Heather Ash Armana, and your inner fire. I thought it was so fitting to like my theme of radiance and glowing, and we just talked about energy. That there is a spark within you. There is this fire within you, and sometimes we need that spark to ignite it again. Talking as a mom, as someone who works full time, we sometimes feel so pulled in all kinds of directions. And I'm speaking for women, and sorry to any of the guys out there, because you probably feel the same thing too, maybe just a little differently. But we feel so pulled in so many directions, like we're giving, giving, giving to everyone else, and we kind of lose ourselves, and we feel just kind of blah, and we go about our day just going through motions and not really having that fire burning in you, that passion. And just some principles to keep in mind, like And we'll talk about trying to find that real passion. But just things to keep in mind to protect your inner fire. It is there, but to treat your body as your temple. And you mentioned why health is so important. And your fire can only burn so well with the body that surrounds it. So learn to love your body. I know that's hard, but love your body, love what it does for you, and learn to take care of your body. The same thing with your mind. Your mind can drain your inner energy. If you have a negative mind, a mind that's constantly going, that does steal from your inner energy. Your mind needs stillness. Your body needs motion, but your mind needs stillness. Allow your mind that stillness so that it's not robbing from your inner energy. Stillness to let things go, to let thoughts go. Stillness just to stop all those thoughts that may be coming through. Maybe this is a morning time routine. Maybe it is meditation. Maybe it's just, in the evenings, but at some point your mind needs that stillness. Emotions, we all have emotions. And the best thing you can do with your emotions is to take them in and let them go. And I saw a meme or something recently about how emotions are like visitors. Welcome them and then allow them to go. Because when you let emotions build up in you, they also rob you of your energy. It takes energy away from you to kind of hold on to those emotions. So let those emotions go. Embrace those emotions. There's no right or wrong emotion, but let them go. Don't let them dominate you. Let them flow through you freely, and that helps to protect your inner energy. Gratitude really is such a great way to strengthen your spirit. Just like exercise strengthens your body, your heart, gratitude really strengthens your spirit. And the more that you do it, the more you start to feel it. And when you can start to feel gratitude, it does help with that glow. It helps with that inner fire. You start to feel soft and warm when you can really tap into gratitude. And then lastly, finding faith. Um, Faith is what helps you overcome fear. It's what you believe in. And faith does feed into your inner energy. Having faith will feed your inner energy. And this inner energy, this inner fire is so important, like I said, if you desire to make change in your world. This is the Wheel of Life, and this comes from my coaching program. And one activity or one session, in a personalized one-on-one coaching environment would be to look at all these different realms of life. And you would actually kind of color in this wheel. And, the farther away you are to the outside, the more full you are in that area. And the closer you are to the middle, meaning you're less full. And kind of looking at where is your life off balance. And this changes. It could change monthly. It could change, next week. But definitely this is something to evaluate. Like reflection is so important. Um, I'm a teacher and we're constantly monitoring our students' progress and reflecting. And you need to do the same with your own self and your own growth, to see where are you at. What's working, what's not, what area in my life is not serving me right now, or what areas need more nourishment. Do I need to spend a little more attention to? Could it be my home environment? I need to declutter. I need to take care of things in my home. Could it relate to your finances, your career? And this is where, when you start to work on some of these places that maybe seem to be a little lacking, that can help, spark that inner fire. You feel like you're taking more control of these certain realms of your life, your relationships, your spirituality, physical activity. Your health is there, such a big piece of that pie. But spending that time to acknowledge, first of all, to acknowledge what is needed and to seek out, is it reading, is it talking to somebody? Coaches can help you through and set you on a path, an action plan toward, improving a certain area of your life. And this can all make you feel, more confident and lighter and brighter, letting you shine. But we're ready to go a little deeper than, touching upon some of these different realms of life. And this was a quote from the two creators of my coaching program from Health Coach Institute. Magic is first in knowing ourselves, next, what we truly desire, then giving ourselves permission to go for it with a whole heart. And that magic is that shining, that brightness, that radiance that comes from honoring our authentic self. That's the magic they're talking about, is when you start to honor your authentic self, you will start to feel that brightness. You will start to feel that passion burning within you. And I highlighted this first part of the statement. We're going to break this statement down. Magic isn't first knowing ourselves. Like, that's such a big thought, knowing ourselves. Like, I live with myself every single day. But how well do you really know yourselves? And knowing yourself isn't, oh, I'm a mom, I'm a teacher, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter. That's not knowing yourself. Those are your roles, but that doesn't tell anything about yourself. So we're going to dive deeper into knowing yourself. And here's an Oprah quote that's kind of connected to that thought. When your life is on course with its perfect purpose, you are your most powerful. So knowing yourself and knowing your purpose, really deep things that we probably don't stop to think about. Who am I? Why am I here? Really deep thoughts. And like I said, we just go through our day, we go through life, kind of on cruise control, dealing with everything. But to really dig within yourself and to really take time to explore you can be so gratifying. So knowing yourself, who am I really? And what is my purpose? I have an activity that I'll just talk you through, and it is something that you can go back and try. I will go slowly. So if you do want to jot this down, if you have any scrap paper or something, it'll probably be hard to do it all during the talk, but you could get the layout of it. But this again was shared by my coaching program, Health Coach Institute. So to find who you are, you're to make a list of 8 to 10 people you admire. Could be in any order. If you want to rate your number one first, great. So make a list. And then acknowledge their qualities. I would start with number one and list 2 or 3 qualities. And then when you get to person number 2, don't repeat any of the same qualities. Add additional qualities. And what you're to do is, if some qualities, some traits repeat, to put a little check by that. So if person number 1 and number 2 have the same quality, they're both talented, they're both outgoing, they're both outspoken, whatever the qualities might be, you're going to kind of tally that to see what qualities your people that you admire all share. And I'll show you just a brief example of this. People I admire, this was part of my list, and I kind of, modified a little bit for sharing purposes. Autumn Calabrese from Beachbody, Derek Jeter, Carrie Underwood, Danielle K. White. She's a business owner and entrepreneur. She does a podcast that I listen to. And so with Autumn, I started with a few qualities. She's healthy, positive, and influential. Derek Jeter, I went on to other qualities. But if he had any that repeated with Autumn, then I would put a little X by those as well. Influential, healthy, positive, probably. He's very talented, but he was humble and he was family focused. And then I go on to my next person, Carrie Underwood. She's strong, she's beautiful, but she's also talented and she's also family focused and she's also positive and humble and healthy. So you see how you could start making these check marks, and this will start to tell you something about yourself, because it's said that the people that you actually admire represent parts of yourself. And I'll show you in a bit what my list came out to be. But the second part of this is what's important to you. And these lists were given to me, and this is not even all inclusive, but what is important for you? And this leads into more of your purpose. Is it important to be financially successful, physically fit and healthy? A successful writer, musician, artist, a leader, developing, adventurer, well-traveled. So you can read through all of these. If you're interested, I can absolutely share, just send an email my way. I can absolutely share this document with you or PDF with you so you can, literally work through this. Or you can just kind of come up with what's important to you. If you're going through a big list like these, it said to rank them on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the strongest in terms of importance. And then to tally up your 4s and 5s, like what is most important for you to be? And then to write this all out. So looking at those qualities from those people that you admire and, saying them out loud. And does that resonate with you? Does it resonate with me to be talented? No. But does it resonate with me to be driven? Yes. Think about those words that you had stated about some of those people. And does it resonate with you? And then what's important to you? List out your 4s and 5s, some of those highest importance things that you would like to be. And this is what I came up with. And if you know me, I think it pretty well, it describes me very well. Um, I think if you were just to say, who am I don't think I would have come up with this. But these are things I valued in others, and these are things that I guess I want for myself. And I do believe I possess most of these to be strong and driven, family focused, passionate, influential, humble, and beautiful and feminine. These are new for me because, to be honest, in my earlier life, like I thought to be beautiful and feminine was a sign of weakness, meant that you weren't smart or capable. And this is new for me. And I think I've really tried to embrace this femininity and feeling pretty and how you can be beautiful and strong and driven and smart and all of that. That it's not a conflicting thing. So that's some of my own personal growth in the last little while. But, who am I and what's important to me? Being physically fit and healthy is important to me. And that is probably a little bit newer. It has to do with my mom's passing of Alzheimer's, the whole COVID pandemic, just seeing people live in fear. I think it's important that we take control of our own fitness and health. It's important to be a loving family member and spiritually developing. Developing in all realms of my life is important. To be well traveled, that's super important to me. To be an effective teacher and coach and healer and a creator of beauty. And this is one that was interesting because, as a teacher or as a coach, like I don't think of myself as a creator of beauty, but I admire, hairdressers. Like what a cool job. They make people feel good about themselves. They make you feel beautiful. And I think that's such an amazing job. And I think in taking on this new role as a coach, I think you help people find their inner beauty, find their spark and their passion. And it's such an opportunity to make them feel better about themselves. And so in that way, I do feel like a creator of beauty. So taking this, who am I and what's important to me can help you to start to think about, okay, what is my purpose? And I encourage you to, if you're really into this, to think about writing a vision statement about what you'd want in the future, a mission statement, who are you? What is your mission? And use this who you are, your qualities, and what you find important to develop that. There's lots of resources out there, and how to, to write a vision and a mission statement. And that can help guide you, and it can help give you some purpose and help drive decision making. Kind of cool things to do. And going back to this statement that I shared a little bit ago. So the magic is first in knowing ourselves. So getting to know you. And like I said, your purpose and your who are you? Well, next step is, what do we truly desire? This may even be more scary than really looking at who you are. Because I think when we're young, we're told to dream and we're told to imagine and create. And then we get to a point where, what we desire is to have a job that pays the bills, that, that allows me a house for my kids and a car to drive them to hockey practice in, food on our table, enough money to cover, a new hockey stick when needed, all of that. I think that's what we feel like we truly desire. but we're not really trapping in again to our authentic self. So some things that I've come across that really help me reflect is viewing your life like you are the artist of your life, and to tap into your creativity. And I don't really consider myself that creative of a person, quite honestly. I'm a science teacher, and I'm um, yeah, uh, very literal. I don't really think I'm very creative, but when I think that I have the power to create my life and my legacy, and what I'm here to give, and what I leave behind, it's really powerful, as you can probably hear in my voice, that I am the artist of my life and I can create this. Another thought, another way of looking at this: if money and time weren't an issue, where do you see yourself? If you did not have to think about money and time, what would you be doing? Where do you see yourself? Another way that this was presented to me is, who are you uninterrupted? And this came from a speaker. She spoke at a virtual event from my coaching school. Her name is Felicia Hatcher. She is a speaker, she's an author, an entrepreneur. But listen to this part of, who are you uninterrupted? So, really powerful words. And like she said, it is like really a deep, deep reflection into yourself, and something that you can't necessarily do overnight, but just something I challenge you to think about. Like, who would you be uninterrupted? And don't feel guilty about these interruptions. Kids happen, they're wonderful, they're such a gift. But we also can't use that as an excuse not to pursue what may be really intrinsically within us. And like I said, sometimes, we're told as when we're young to dream and what do you want to do? And the world is your stage. And then we find ourselves kind of not living that way. And like I said, kids are wonderful, but they're not a reason why you can't really self-reflect and look at who you authentically are and what you would like to be doing. And thinking about this, oops, I'm going to repeat this, but when have you felt totally filled? Do you have a time, a moment, an activity, like something that makes you feel totally filled? That you can still feel that inside of you. You can feel all the emotions. And I want to stick to the positive here because all too often we have a negative experience that we can still feel, where all your emotions are tapped in. You can smell the smells and feel and hear and, all of that. And when you have a strong emotional connection to something, it is trying to tell you something. And like I said, I want to focus on the positive here, not the negative, because we have those moments where that we remember that they stick with us. But I want you to think of the positives about, do you have a time, a place, something you were doing that just everything felt right, almost to a point where you can go back there and feel and hear. Like I said, your senses are so tapped in because these emotional connections are trying to tell you something. When you have a really strong emotional reaction to something, there's a message behind that. And sometimes you have to look into that. And for me, in the last couple of years, these were actually a couple of summers ago, these two experiences, they were separate trips. But these two experiences, when I think back to like feeling and being there and like remembering and feeling the wind and feeling the sun and hearing the sounds. On the left I was on a cruise for my husband's 50th birthday. I was on his 50th birthday and we got a private cruise down in Mexico. And I just remember like sitting there, just loving, loving, loving what I was experiencing, like absolutely in love with that. And so much so that I talk about this in a coaching session. I was asked to think about a time and I brought that up. And the picture on the right was another boat cruise. It was a private cruise. We had a cruise for myself and my husband and our kids. Our daughter, unfortunately, couldn't make it with us. She was back at the hotel. But being with the boys, and again, the sounds, the sights, the feels, it just resonates with me. And when I take the time to think about why, like, what is this telling me? And daring to dream and daring to look at, who would I be uninterrupted and putting all these things together, being creative with how I paint my life. Like, this is what I envision. And daring to dream. I would love to be a health and life coach in Mexico, living in Mexico, doing virtual sessions from a patio, from my deck, year round outside in the sun, and then also working for a private boat company. My husband, he would actually captain, whatever you want to call it, boats in the Marine Corps. He drove boats, and he can do that. He would love to do that. He said, "I love to take photos. I have a camera. I'd love to take photos of those people, pour champagne." I know language is a hang up. I know that, but somehow I think I could overcome that. But anyways, that's what makes me excited. And call it a crazy dream. But is it so crazy? And it's not something I'm jumping to this year, next year, but is that a crazy dream? But it makes me smile thinking about it and feeling it. I love the sun. I love the warmth. I love it to be summer year round. Like, that's just something within me. I love health and life coaching. I find it so rewarding. And to be able to make somewhat of a living of doing that, from a remote location is awesome. And like you said, like being on a boat, taking photos, pouring champagne. My husband really looked into what it would take to captain a boat down in Mexico. And there are always some restrictions with residency and visas and things like that. But like, that's the dream I came up with. And you may think it's crazy, and we all have our own crazy dreams, but is it really that crazy? I challenge you to think about and to push yourself into thinking about what you could do. What would you love to do? What would make you feel? Um, it's funny, today's Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and that whole "I have a dream," and not to minimize the importance of his speech, but I was a class valedictorian in high school, and I was thinking about this today, along with MLK Jr. and the whole "I have a dream," and preparing this. And my valedictorian speech was something along those lines of like having a dream, about how at that point it might have been a dream of having a car or a boyfriend or girlfriend or something, but always having a dream, meaning something to push towards. And like I've mentioned before, like a dream might have been to, like I said, to land a job, to buy a house, to have children, to find your partner, all of that. But was that really your dream? And I encourage you to really just look at what you would love to do, uninterrupted, if you want to put it back that way. And then the third part of this original statement, then giving ourselves permission to go for it with a whole heart. And going for it with a whole heart, like I said, doesn't mean it has to be overnight. It's just establishing some goals. It's establishing, what can you do to take steps toward that. And the journey is there's so much growth in the journey and learning about ourselves and growing and becoming better versions of ourselves. And we'll talk about, different qualities that you can embrace and try to work on. But give yourself permission. It's not bad to dream. It's not bad to want to do things for you, to fulfill yourself. It's not selfish. But again, here's that acceptance in giving ourselves permission. So give yourself permission to go for it with a whole heart. And in giving ourselves permission requires, acceptance without guilt, without judgment, but accept where you're currently at. We did what we did. We do what we do. We're at where we're at. We did the best we could with the knowledge we have. And we're making the best life we can for, our families, ourselves. Acknowledge those limiting beliefs and let them go. So like I said, at one point, or you may judge and, you might be thinking, wow, that's kind of a crazy dream. But stop judging, stop allowing those limiting beliefs, like let them in, but let them go. Like, no, maybe not so crazy. Because, I'm a realist, and a couple years ago, I'd been like, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to live in Mexico. I'm not going to, work on a boat. But now it's like, no, it doesn't seem so crazy. It seems pretty cool, actually. Allow yourself to dream and take steps towards that. So give yourself permission and accept that it's okay. It's okay to dream. It's okay to make these goals and take steps toward that. And as you do that, in taking steps forward, so just in moving forward, what must you believe about yourself? These are some deep questions again. This is deep work. What qualities must you harness? And then what steps can you take to work on these qualities? So in moving forward, it takes courage. It may take vulnerability. It may take faith. Here's a list of some words that, what do you need to work on as you give yourself permission to move forward? To think about what you would love to do, whether that's to write a book, whether that is to, teach kids how to golf, any of those things that you may think are really crazy things you'd like to do. What kind of skills would this take? Would you like to, be a trainer? Would you like to really focus on people and their health? Like, all kinds of things. Like, what lights your fire? What do you feel passionate about? And then what kind of qualities do you need to work on to get there? And these qualities, again, they're qualities to work on little steps at a time. And you start to build that. Is it creativity? Is it determinations or patience or passion, confidence, courage? These are all, admirable qualities that we can work on and that can become part of your identity. I am a driven person. I am passionate. I am confident. Starting to believe that you do possess these. And you build that, in little things. You start taking little steps that show, yes, okay, I am confident. You put yourself out there a little bit more. Okay, I can do this. And you start to build, any of these that you really connect with. One recommended way to move forward is to create a vision board. And I've seen this a few different places that was talked about that, when you have this goal, this vision, this crazy dream, whatever you want to call it, to collect images that represent what you want to be, what you want to do, what you want to have, and to display images of your short and long-term goals. In short term, what can you work on in the short term? And show images of the actual images. And you could do that, digitally and then print it. Not too many people have magazines and cut out. I think about back in the day, we used to cut out pictures from magazines and paste them and stuff. But probably digitally, you can collect images and find images about anything you're searching for or your long-term goals and have this as an image to look at. And having this vision really helps to make taking those steps toward this more achievable. I think it keeps it in your mind, it's visually there and it will make it more achievable to you. Also, in moving forward, one thing that it was brought up by another speaker that I heard, Eric Nooner, he's an entrepreneur as well, is to own your crazy, to own who you really are. And part of that is taking the time to discover who you really are, to own your desires. It's okay. It's not selfish. It's okay to have desires. It's okay to want to be more than, wife, mom, whatever you may identify as you are right now. Own who you strive to be. Own some of those qualities that you strive to become more of, to become more confident, to become more vulnerable. And own your crazy. People may think you're crazy, and that's okay. Because at least you're living authentically. You're acknowledging your authentic self. You're acknowledging your desires. And how people react to you is not on you. It's on them. And it's on where they are in their journey. And if they're not on the same journey as you towards growth, they may not understand what you're doing or why you're doing it. So their reaction is really a reflection of where they are at. But own your crazy. Because greatness doesn't come from staying in your comfort zone. If you think about all of these great people out there, they were probably also able to be considered crazy. Think about the Wright brothers with an airplane, Steve Jobs and Apple. All a little bit crazy. I think people would, have called them crazy, but they ended up being great and doing amazing things. So own your crazy, accept it. Don't take it personally that others may criticize your crazy. That's another lesson in itself. And I'll leave you with these words. Faith and fear both demand you believe in something you cannot see. You choose. And it's faith. It's building faith that allows you to overcome your fears. Because it really is fear. It's fear that holds us back. It's fear of the unknown. It's fear of change. It's fear of disappointing others. It's fear of failure. We have all these fears kind of embedded within us. And when you start to not allow fear to control your life, to control what you do, to control your decisions, and the opposite of fear is that faith, that it's going to work out, it's going to be okay. It may be uncomfortable, but it's going to be better in the long run. Trust and faith, faith over fear. You get to choose. If you feel that I can be of support to you in a journey, and a journey towards health, and a journey towards, life, really creating your life. I'm a certified health and life coach, like I mentioned before, from Health Coach Institute. My email is radiancewithincoaching@gmail.com. I also respond on Facebook Messenger through Michelle Burney or Radiance Within Coaching. And this is my phone number. You can call or text. Like I said, some one-on-one talks, questioning sequences really might help take you to the next level. I know that this has been a lot of really deep stuff. If you need any support materials, please let me know. But maybe you go back and listen to certain parts of this, or try certain parts of this, try the, who am I activity, or just start dreaming, start being creative with your life. And I think, and when you start to do all that, you will start to feel that shine, that glow, more radiant. And that's what I want, radiance within. Thank you.